Bay. Plus, as we track some severe conditions in the area, I'm Courtney Robinson, along with Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. And Bobby, we have a whole lot of rain coming down.
We do, and especially out in the Plant City area. It is dangerously heavy rainfall, and estimated now over 8 inches has fallen just south of Plant City, down between there and basically State Road 60 in the Keysville area. And they have a flash flood warning at this particular time. Here's the big picture. So we've got this long line, which is essentially an outer rain band of this low that's trying to develop well off the East Coast, okay, east of Cape Canaveral. But you can see this band is coming all the way through. We do, at this time, have a couple of warnings. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in orange, including all of Pinellas and most of Hillsborough County. That should probably extend down to all of Hillsborough, because I think it gets into Waimama out there towards Camp Osprey area as well. There is a flash flood warning right in here. I know you can't see it. That is for Plant City down to the Keysville Road area. And then we actually have down here at the bottom, what you can't see, is we have a flood warning for the Horseshoe Creek area near Arcadia. All right, now let's get to the storms. A ton of lightning. Now, what's happening is they are building now more towards the south. Look what's happening here. Yes, we'll get some rain out in western Hillsborough. We got it now. Northern Pinellas will get some. And I think it does fill in a little bit here in western Pasco. But look what's diving down. You see this right here? That is where we have the heaviest rainfall. And right now, the possibility for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Wow. Okay, that's the reason for the severe thunderstorm warning. This little Boeing segment that you see right there. So let's start there. Obviously, a ton of lightning around the area. Carrollwood, downtown Tampa, all of South Tampa is getting this. MacDill is basically there right now. You can see all the way down to Apollo Beach, which is basically right in this area in here. Man, that thing is always in the way. Severe thunderstorm warning. There's Apollo Beach right there. Okay, now that is basically where the highest winds are. This in Fishhawk, anywhere down here, coming down 75 into eastern Hillsborough from Brandon southward. That's where the heaviest rains are. Now it's going to get down towards the Ruskin area, but these inland areas where this Boeing segment is right here, that's where most of the wind is. It's literally coming down and out and pushing down out of the storm and out and down out of the storm and out. Okay, that's the 60-mile-per-hour plus winds that we could see. Now, embedded in all of this has been an amazing amount of rainfall in the Plant City area. This only goes back an hour. I'm going to go back 3 hours, and I want you to watch this Plant City. I'm going to go ahead and circle this area right in here. Watch that area for 3 hours, 2 hours, and then the third hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, and now the third hour. That is a ton of rain that has fallen there. And in fact, radar estimates now, and this just got updated, almost 9 inches of rainfall. Guys, when we have a tropical system, a tropical storm coming to us, we'll start it up, just an estimate of maybe like 4 to 8, maybe 6 to 10 on the high side. This is almost 10 inches of rain that has fallen in this area, because we still have a little bit more rain to go. Because of that, we have a flash flood warning for that area, which essentially means if it's not flash flooding now, it's very likely that it will in many of those locations. You can almost see a little bit of rotation there. What you do notice, the very last part of this, look at this rain up here, it's falling apart. It's sinking southward, okay? It is finally starting to break up. This is a look at the velocity, because I could see the rotation in there. So I went back, you see that?
Yep.
See all the little spins?
Right there off I-4.
Yeah, watch this Plant City area. See the spins? Watch that whole area right in here. You can literally see it, and that's what's like a meso low, which has kept the rain forming there. That's why that happened. And now, fortunately enough, we've had this big line come along to push it out. Now, that line, the west side of that, is like a bowling ball. Look at this. This is looking at motion in the atmosphere, but essentially what this is showing you is very heavy winds in here. And that's why Brandon's seeing it right now. I tried our Tampa cam. We can't even see down from the building. It's so it's so hard raining outside right now. 55-mile-per-hour winds with that, and that's what's coming across Apollo Beach right now. So in the Plant City area, we have that flash flood warning until 7:30 in the evening, and that means basically when the flooding will be over. It may get extended a little bit. This is I-4 out there. It is getting better.
It does look a lot better than
Yeah.
when we looked at that earlier, right at the top of the 6 o'clock hour.
And by the way, that stretch right there is where the least amount of rainfall has fallen. It's actually higher from that point southward
Right.
that we've seen the rain. So
And you said almost 9 inches.
almost 9 inches. And the fact that it's clearing here is what we were thinking as well too.
Well, it's a good thing it's clearing. I mean, you know, they're on I-4 where you have so much traffic, but still, for those who are in Plant City, you do want to be careful. I mean, that's a lot of rain in a short period of time that can overwhelm all of those systems.
Hopewell, Bealsville, down to Nichols even, but really between Plant City and Keysville. You see Keysville Road down there at the bottom, right there. That is the main area that we're concerned. If I show you again where all the heavy rainfall was, it's really up there in that Hopewell, Bealsville area. But the camera that I showed you is up here. Okay, so we're not getting a good view of exactly what happened down there, and that is tough. Travel on State Road 60, I gotta imagine there's gotta be some spots here that are flooded out. But again, notice this red that you see here. I'm gonna put this in the loop. Just go back 30 minutes here, and you'll notice that it's going to improve a little bit. See that? It finally gets picked up by this main line. In fact, let's go back 2 hours. You can see the main line coming in from the north. And it finally picks it up. Keep your eye right here. Now it's picking it up. That line was up north of Dade City 2 hours ago, and now it's coming through. So, ton of lightning out there. We've had quite a bit of hail today. It's been small hail, although we did have up in the Citrus County some pretty big estimates there. But you can see, look at all the lightning over downtown Tampa right now. In fact, let's go out. We can at least see that with our Tampa cam. Oh, look at that. That's something. We can see now some clearing. I couldn't see that earlier. So,
Big lightning.
yeah, and it's getting, the conditions are getting better in Tampa.
So this is
but-
improving.
Yeah, this is improving. I couldn't see the ground earlier, but there's all that lightning. Yeah, we're going to see a ton of that. This is looking out over Channelside District, over the port right there, off towards the south and the east.
That's looking toward that Apollo Beach area.
Yeah. Apollo Beach a little bit. You know what? It's a good point. Courtney, I'm going to go all the way. Let's go out a little bit more towards Apollo Beach, right in that area, almost dead ahead. But yeah, ton of lightning right in there. All right, now back out to the radar. So Apollo Beach is just about there now. Ruskin is there. You want to see a cool picture? Look at the Ascent Building in downtown St. Pete.
Whoa, that's apocalyptic looking.
Yeah, that is the mothership that we were talking about earlier, how it's going to look like that. Let me see if I can get to that camera.
So if you're in St. Pete, you want to get out, go inside. Do not be outside right now.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming. In fact, this is going to come across the bay. And let me get you back out to the radar while I mess with the camera here. But it's a lot less. Like, I'll put this into motion. You can see where St. Pete is. See how it's really diving south across South Tampa?
Yeah.
The airport, even,
Right over McDill right now.
right up the Veterans. You're right over McDill right now. It will stretch out. Like, it's going to stretch out here to Dunedin. But the core, the hardest part is right down in here. And so, yeah, St. Pete, you're going to get some of that? Yes, you are. But is it going to be terrible? No, nothing like that.
Earlier you were saying it's about 20, 30 minutes of really heavy rain and then it kind of moves on. Is that still the case?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, that's probably a little less than that. It's probably only about 15 minutes worth.
Okay.
Let's go back out to the Ascent Building again. Now I've got control of that camera here. Good time to look for water spouts now that we can see up underneath that. But look at that. That's what we call the mothership. That is a shelf cloud right there. And that's where the highest winds are coming across. This is the shelf cloud. This is literally cooler air coming down out of the tops of those storms. It condensates with the moisture and makes a cloud, and it spreads out. So the air temps are much cooler back underneath this. Wild looking.
And when you see a shelf cloud like that, that's when you know it's...
Yeah. So look at these boats that are out there now. You can't see them at the very bottom of your screen right there. They need to be heading back in here anytime soon.
And there's a severe thunderstorm warning for Pinellas as well as Hillsborough.
And it includes the bay, obviously, because it crosses over there.
Yeah. Is that looking up? Is that looking north?
Northeast.
Northeast.
So that's
those are
old,
the Gandies
old
up-
northeast.
yeah.
Downtown Tampa straight ahead.
Got it.
Now we're going to go further north. We're almost getting ready to look up 4th Avenue or 4th Street. And that's looking towards the station here. That's looking up towards Gandy Boulevard. It's almost due to the north.
Do we have a Gandy cam? Do we have our station cam?
Yeah, we do have the camera here at the station as well. And that one.
I mean, you can hear it rumbling.
It's too close. It's really a little bit too close to be in it. This is over at Armature Works right now, and you can see it's just more rainfall now than anything else for those locations. And then back out at the beach, I mean, this is down St. Pete Beach. I mean,
oh, wow.
You know, there's not a whole lot going on at that particular time.
They're like wet storms.
Yeah. See the radar right there? See it pushing southward? And this area where it's bowing out here is going to have some really good winds, and that's what's pushing across Tampa right now.
Bobby, I have a question about Plant City. When we're talking about that flash flood warning in there, is that because there are creeks and other bodies of water?
No.
No.
Good call.
Okay.
Great question. That is because so much rain, so much water has fallen. A lot of things will flood. A lot of yards will flood. A lot of intersections will flood. It has nothing to do with rivers. And none of this flooding, obviously, here in Plant City has anything to do with storm surge, but we're not even talking about any of that. This is all from very heavy rainfall in a short amount of time. And the initial one, the green one that you see there, was a flood advisory. And that was essentially saying, hey, we've seen 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. We could get another 1 to 3. And you're getting in that part. So you're getting close to what we would call flash flood guidance. Okay. So the National Weather Service looks at how much rain we've seen the last several days, right? How much rain we've seen in the last couple of hours over any location. And then they look at the moisture in the ground and they say, how much rain can we handle per hour, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, before complete saturation happens and it just floods very quickly, flash floods. And they will give us what's called flash flood guidance. And they'll usually, for us this time of year, is about 3 to 4 inch per hour. We can handle that in Florida. We've got a karst topography, which means limestone underneath. We got sand, limestone. It can handle some water. We don't have big valleys. So when you see what happened out west, when you see what you know what I mean, in Texas, there's a hill country. And there's almost like canyons there. It was almost like a wall. And so the rain that got down into those creeks really didn't go anywhere to go, and so it got funneled down in there. We don't necessarily have that here, so it's more spread out. So our flash flooding guidance can go a little bit higher. But having that much rain in a short amount of time, it went from a flood advisory to flash flooding, meaning this is a more serious, a more dangerous situation. This is the turn around, don't drown. You don't know if the road's been washed out type of thing. All right, and more than anything else, it's and unfortunately people know. Yeah, well, you know, like it rained so hard that one time, the water almost came up to my doorstep. You know, randomly this happened in this Keysville area, just because of where that ended up being. Right, that one little spot right there got most of it. Okay, and so that's the difference between the regular one and a flash flood warning. Now, bigger picture, you can see the lines continuing to move through. Look how it's actually slowed down up in the Crystal River area. We haven't talked much about you guys, but the strongest storms are on their way out. Pine Island getting it now. Hudson really getting the strongest part that you've seen so far, and that will continue to push off. Pasco County, it's okay. That US 19 corridor, Little Road, down in the Trinity, you're going to get a good little thunderstorm there. Severe thunderstorm warning was allowed to expire for you. As a matter of fact, it's down to the south, and that makes sense. But look at Pinellas; is not getting much rain at all, and essentially this is what's coming through Westwood Lakes, the Eagles, over towards Brooker Creek Preserve right here. That's coming out on East Lake Woodlands, and then over towards McMullen Booth. But that's not terrible. All right, that's just a heavy downpour. And really, what's coming across the bridges right now: Howard Franklin, Courtney Campbell, Gandy. That's just a heavy thunderstorm more than anything else. I wouldn't expect 60-mile-per-hour winds out of that. Now, down here, Waimama, this is weakening, okay? But this curve that you see here, that's what we call a bow. It's bowing out, right? And that indicates usually pretty good amounts of wind. You see how it bows out here and it bows out there? I would look where these come together for some rotation, but that's not what I'm seeing right now. Very, very good news right there. Yeah, you don't want to see that. But
are you probably seeing the same thing in Ruskin? Because I know that's where the weather center is, where we see things come out from there.
Yeah, and in fact, we're getting ready to see what's called the cone of silence, because here's the radar right here. See, the radar emanates from right here. The radar can't look straight up, so it can't see above it. So when it's raining over the radar, you get this big hole right there. And you'll see as this is moving over, nothing will fill that in. But it's definitely it's definitely going to be raining there. Waimama, Sun City Center, coming out here, out to Waimama. This area is going to get a really good thunderstorm. The winds right now, nothing terrible. That's the good news. But there is a ton of lightning in the area. Winds about 35 to 40 miles per hour would be my guesstimate at this particular point. But the trend is that it's weakening. And the trend, that trend is our friend for sure. Let me put that into motion for you. See how fast it's diving southward?
Yeah. It is moving quickly.
More than, look what's happening in Bartow. And those are completely outrunning it. It's almost rotating through. Literally like a bowling ball, it looks like. But that's what's called a little a little spin. You can see that over here over Fishhawk. Right at the very last end over Fishhawk. Right there, you'll see the spin.
And we still don't know. I know that we had reports earlier of down trees off I-75 in Pasco County. They got walloped about an hour ago.
Yeah, that was southeastern Hernando and then eastern Pasco County, correct. And we actually, it looked like we picked up a little bit of debris out of that.
Right.
Where am I at here? Where's my?
Dixie.
Yeah, there we go. A little further north. So let's see if I can cover it. Now I got to go back even more. Let's go back 2 hours. So right in there. See where this is our radar saying, hey, I see rotation in there. Okay. The red color you see here, I'm showing you what's called a correlation coefficient, which is basically we're looking for debris in the atmosphere. All that red you see there, that's raindrops. They're round. The radar is seeing a bunch of stuff there. That's why it makes it red, but it says, hey, what I'm seeing is round. It's about the same height as it is wide. So you think of a circle. It's up and down, and then it's left and right. It's about the same, right? A stick, this is not like that, okay?
Got it.
This is like, that would be a little bit more round, but this is a stick. So it's a lot taller than it is wide, all right? And when it sees that, it says, hey, that correlation is not the same. It's not 1-to-1. It's not as tall as it is wide. It's a different correlation. And so that's why it's got a big name for it. But essentially, what we're thinking is that right there may be sticks or something, anything that a tornado could pick up. Okay, and so when we have a tornado warning, we will watch for the rotation, which you don't see anything now, but then we also go for this correlation coefficient, which now I got to go back 2 hours here to see what it shows. And now watch this area right. I'm going to circle it right in here. Okay, in fact, it's tough to see because it's red, but do you see that where it's 75? Do you see that? That's our radar telling us it thinks a tornado is there. Okay, now watch the radar. See that?
Yes.
Now you've got this right next to where we think the tornado is. So that's likely debris that got picked up. This is 75, I-75. We know we have reports of trees down along I-75 in Hernando County. That's where we're at. That's probably parts of those trees. Hopefully that's all that it is. Okay, we don't have any other reports at this time for that, but that's definitely, it would appear to be debris to me. You can see, look down towards Lakuchi, it falls apart, down towards Blanton. The tornado went in that direction, but it weakened, and so we don't see anything. All right, so that's where we were with that.
And do we see something like that potential? I mean, is there a possibility it could happen in the bow that you were?
There is, and that's why I was saying where those two came together. But I don't see anything. I was watching this area right here where the two bows came together, and I don't see anything right now. So that's good.
Bobby, I do want to mention this because a friend of mine just texted and asked if this was legitimate. It's from Hillsborough County Emergency Management regarding the flood warning that was in place for eastern Hillsborough County. And she's like, is this real? Is this happening?
Absolutely.
And it is.
Yeah.
And they're sending out, they're saying, hey, until 7 o'clock at this point.
7:30.
7:30.
Flash flood warning for that area until 7:30. Look what's happening in Fishhawk. This rotation I'm going to show you, you're going to see this spin here. That's part of the rotation that was set up over Plant City, and that's the reason why they got so much rain. It just sat there, but now you can see it's moving. Watch what Plant City. See, it's still sitting there, and then this one comes through and knocks it apart. This one developed on that other cell coming through. In fact, that's not the only one. Look at this one that went over South Tampa right here. Shoo. One there, and then one that was over there. So a lot of motion inside these storms today. So we're actually kind of lucky, to be honest with you, that we only got one tornado warning, but it does look like it touched down and did some damage because of that, what we saw there, and within the reports of the trees down over there.
When do you think this moves on out?
Well, I mean, that's a good point. If you look at central and eastern Hernando and Pasco County, all clear, right?
Right.
You can see the red line here. That's where it is. This is where it is. Newport Richey, just about. This is US 19 right there. So the line is just to the west of there. And so it'll be pushing southward. Now, I think what could happen, though, is we actually get a pretty good amount of rainfall here in western Pasco because they're kind of going from north to south, and now they're not pushing east much. So that's what we call a training effect. They train over the same area. And Trinity is sitting right in here. All right? And so you guys are probably going to get some pretty good rain out of this. The US 19, of course, but also that McMullen Booth Road area is right in here. You're going to get some good rain out of that. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's going to flood too much, but that is a possibility. I think there's enough push to get this all the way to the coast. Speaking of that, Feather Sound area, here comes some rain. We've got some really good, that's just north of, take a look at this lightning that's firing up here. Brooker Creek Park, Racetrack Road, and Line Ball. This is out by the horse track, which is right out here. There's the horse track right there. And there's Line Ball, so Racetrack.
Near West Chase.
Near West Chase right here. You go right through West Chase, right in through there. But that's a ton of lightning right in there, and I don't see any rotation or anything like that, so we should be good to go. But definitely not the all clear. I know a lot of kids, obviously, there's everybody out of school, wanting to go out and play. Give it a while because you can see there's a hole here behind it, right?
Oh, right.
But the lightning is still here, and you can get struck right out in this area.
Well, you see one right in the middle.
See that?
Yeah.
Exactly right. So that's why we say at least 15 to 20 minutes after the storm goes by. And so this one's still here. Now, we've been doing this. Let's switch gears here a little bit and talk tropics, since that's kind of what we're supposed to be doing here tonight.
Oh, sorry.
We got hijacked with all the storms.
That's right.
So as I mentioned, these are kind of like outer rain bands. This is like an outer rain band from this low that's trying to develop just east of Florida. And you can see where they've plotted this thing here. Here's Cape Canaveral, right? There's the low. And you can see most of the convection's down to the south of it, right? The center's sitting up in here. But look, there it is. Really, you can see it's been rotating around. There's even another band sitting right in here. See that? It's a weak one. But what happened was this was actually rotating through as we got the heating of the day. And so that would make those showers and storms. But this is the area that the Hurricane Center says has about a 20 to 30% chance of development. 20% next 2 days. That's here and here. 30% here, here, and up to here. Okay, and a lot of the modeling is somewhere up in here. And for most of the weekend, it was suggesting that it wasn't going to do too much over here, just a rainmaker for Florida, and then maybe do something here. The models weren't too excited about it. I think one of the models was, but there wasn't that many. It is now called Invest 93L. Okay. So what that means is that we're getting this kind of data for it, 25 mile per hour winds, what it's moving, which is barely moving at 3 miles per hour, and we're going to be getting spaghetti models, spaghetti plots out there. Everybody loves spaghetti plots, so we'll have those for you coming up later this evening. But you can see it's kind of, they say it's drifting west-southwest. It's literally right in here is where the center is.
Oh, you can.
It's yeah, and it doesn't look like, it's clearly not here, but it's probably going to do something like this, okay? Let's see what it looks like now. This is the visible satellite, and here you can clearly see the low-level winds here where the center is somewhere probably under here, okay? Not down here where all the convection is. So that's one way we can use that for to figure out where the low is. Now, the Melbourne radar got struck by lightning the other day, so it was out. So we did not have Melbourne radar. We didn't have Jacksonville radar. They were doing some cleaning of it. Only thing we had was Tampa, which is looking higher in the atmosphere at that point. Now, finally, this afternoon, we got the Melbourne radar back, and that'll be good to have because then we can see what's happening out there all night long, right? If it starts to form a center out there. You see these showers? Well, watch right in here. See those showers starting to fire up here and here? Tropical systems tend to fire up overnight over water. So I would expect this to get more rainfall, more on the radar out here overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning as these will fall apart. These will be slowly falling apart this evening. Here's our forecast model, okay? We've got basically tomorrow morning, let me look at this. This is around 11:30 in the morning. It has some center right here near Jacksonville. See that? Not a lot. Notice where we are. Not a whole lot of rain.
Right.
I think we saw more today than we're going to see the whole time. And then as we go through the afternoon hours, this is now 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Here it is. All right. We had some passing showers, especially north of I-4, but nothing terrible. And the winds aren't that bad either. They are breezy.
That's what I was going to ask. The winds.
They're not bad. I mean, we're 15 to 20 out here on the East Coast, maybe 25, if that. Not much at all for us. This goes out to Wednesday at around 1:30. Here's something, right? Is that it? Is this it? It's hard to tell, but we're done with it. But what we have is this southeast flow. And ordinarily, a southeast flow like this would give us afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Again, this is Wednesday afternoon. There they are forming. Sarasota, Manatee, and then these are going to run right up the coast, right? And they could be a little bit on the heavier side because ordinarily with the southeast wind we would get some pretty good rain. But this is tropical moisture in it. This helped to spin up some tropical moisture as it was coming by. So now let's go out to Wednesday night into Thursday morning, right there. That's 7:30. Is this it? Maybe, right? Some models bring it into New Orleans. Some models take it all the way over to Texas and get it stronger. This one's trying to bring something out here. Meanwhile, we're just scattered showers. We're not anything major. This is the GFS model. This is Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Weak low here, right? There you go. That's Wednesday at 10 a.m. Still nothing major. And then did it do this? It looks like it kind of went just like this, but still nothing major. You would see a bunch of white lines in circles going around the center if it was, something strong. Let's look at the European, normally a pretty good model. It's pretty much agreeing with our model, the graph. It has it on. This is 2 o'clock tomorrow, just south of Jacksonville, okay, in the afternoon. And then by tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, 8 a.m., right in here.
Yeah.
By Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, right in here. So New Orleans, this is probably a Louisiana thing more than anything else.
It's like the opposite of Chantel.
Yes, Chantel went to the north. This is coming to the left.
Does it make it a little different, though, that it's the Gulf?
Not a whole lot. What we watch out for, though, is quick development, rapid intensification, because that's what Chantal did. It got up to, I think, 50, 60 mile per hour winds before it made landfall. They weren't even forecasting that. So we're watching it on the East Coast because as it comes across, it could be stronger. Probably won't, but we're watching that tonight. So during the day tomorrow, it's coming overland, and we're not worried about it really intensifying, obviously, at all at that point. But we would be watching for it to get a little bit stronger as it moves out into the Gulf. And that would be Wednesday, Thursday of this upcoming week as it moves away from us. So I was just telling you, I think today and probably tomorrow, today's probably the heaviest rain that we're going to see. Tomorrow's not as widespread coverage, but we could see some heavy rainfall and then a little less on Wednesday.
I can hear it above us right now.
Yeah.
That rain coming down, the thunder.
Thunder coming through. So let's go back up since we are hearing that. Let's do one more look at the radar here and see what we got going on. I'm going to get back out to our watches and warnings because we still do have that severe thunderstorm warning for the area. Just Hillsborough and Pinellas, and I don't think that they've gotten rid of it. Oh, yep, they did. They let it go. And what all that means is that now we're down to less than 60 mile per hour winds. Still have the flash flood warning for that Plant City area, mainly south of Plant City down the Keysville Road. This is that area I was talking about with some pretty gusty winds coming through. You can see it rotating. I don't see anything right now as far as tornadoes. That's a very broad area of rotation. That's not tornadic, which would be really small. So that's good, but that's pretty good wind maker and rain maker, plus the lightning.
What does St. Pete look from Ascent? We were looking earlier, we saw that shelf.
Yeah, let's go look at that.
I wonder what it looks like now. I know we only have a little bit. There you go.
So that's looking to the north. Let's come back around here.
That's where we are.
Yeah, that's the rain that you're hearing. Exactly right. And this is out over the bay. There's the pier coming in the lower right of your screen. Let's see how much further we can. There's a couple buildings in the way, but we may be able to see the leading edge of this before we let you go. We'll be back. I think it's 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be back on 10 Tampa Bay Plus, giving you updates on the rain. It should be a whole lot quieter. Oh, yeah, there we go. We're just about ready to see it. We're going to lose a little bit. We lost it. And there you go. Look at that.
The spin. You can see the sun out there.
Yeah, Bellwether Beach Resort will have a great shot, too. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Courtney, thank you for hanging out.
Yes, of course. We'll see you back here tonight at 11 on 10 Tampa Bay and here on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.